Jesse Neuman. I'm a professional jazz musician, improviser, trumpet player, and I've also been a teacher for almost 10 years, early childhood, elementary school, middle school, high school, some college students too. And Musicworks is a company that I run that slowly grew out of some basically visiting classrooms and groups of kids, bringing my trumpet and then bringing some other musicians and just introducing kids to the roles of the instruments and how they work and what that's all about. So Musicworks now is a collection of great local musicians, all of whom are performers, singer-songwriters, instrumentalists, and they're all teachers as well. And what we do is we bring an ensemble into a school setting. That could be a classroom of kids, it could be 6 kids, it could be 25 kids, it could be an auditorium full of 300 kids. And we basically find a way to show children how music works and how they can relate to the musicians, how the musicians interact with each other. When we do our presentations, we make an effort to bring the kids as close as possible, so physically as close as possible, so they can see the strings on the bass, they can see the drummer's foot moving, they can see the eye contact between a trumpet player and a pianist. I think that's a big step in just breaking down that barrier between sitting in the audience and watching the musicians on stage and really understanding these are people making things happen.
The whole thing about music, the joy of music is that it's an interactive process. It's interactive. It's interactive between the players, and it's interactive between the players and the audience. It's interactive between the players and the instruments. And the great thing about Musicworks is the whole thing is set up as an interactive process between the kids and the people who are giving the workshops. So we invite them on up and we get to interact with them and play with them, and yeah, I mean, we're making music throughout the workshop with the kids in the audience, and that's what's actually really fantastic about it.
When we're putting together a workshop, the first thing obviously is to figure out the population, the age of the kids, the size of the group, and if there's anything specifically they're studying in school, or are there any specific limitations or emotional needs of the kids. We work with some special populations, and it's important to keep that in mind. And then secondly, to think about the size and the type of the ensemble. So I've done workshops alone. Sometimes I'll bring another person who's another singer or an instrumentalist, and oftentimes I'll bring an entire sort of core improvising ensemble. And that usually includes a melody instrument, it could be trumpet or voice or saxophone, some sort of harmony instrument, guitar, vibraphone, piano, a bass, which provides the foundation, acoustic or electric bass, and a percussionist or a drummer. That's sort of the core improvising ensemble. And then after that, we start to put together what would be a good fit in terms of getting the kids involved and something that's going to be on their intellectual level, but also going to be fun, exciting, you know. So if I'm working with, for example, we work with a group of high school students that were in a residential home, and these are kids, really good kids, but that had come from tough backgrounds, and they were sort of a step away from either going to jail or being sent somewhere else where they were going to be rehabilitated. They weren't musicians, and so the idea that came up in talking to their teacher beforehand was confidence. So we really wanted something to bring out their confidence, to make them feel good and to make them feel involved. These are kids that can be very withdrawn, I was told. So in that particular case, what we did was bring a group and let them know right away, we're going to play your compositions. So you're going to tell us what to do, and we're going to find a way to make it happen. And little by little, even the students who were the most shy and the most withdrawn and the most nervous about sharing something, you know, for at the risk of being shot down or being wrong, they were able to come forward and give us their ideas and share their opinions, and as improvisers we were able very quickly to change directions to demonstrate which way the song could go, or
Jesse's got all kinds of Musicworks workshops, and one of the ones that I was involved with was a songwriters workshop, which was really fantastic. He had a bunch of kids, and we broke down all the different elements that go into writing a song, and we broke it down into rhythm, melody, tempo, choices between fast and slow, choices between high and low, and like getting into the intricacies of all of that, and having kids come up with their own lyrics and put them to different music, and then come up with musical motives, and we'd piece it all together, and did actually a piece that the kids wrote, and we did a song of mine, and we did some songs of some other songwriters that we work with. It was really fantastic, very interactive, and very fun.
Another important idea, and this goes through all the workshops we do, is to break down what the musicians are doing on a technical level into ideas and vocabulary the kids can understand. So for example, we're not going to talk about cross rhythms and polyrhythms and independence on the drum set. We're going to talk about what it takes to move your right hand and your left hand and both feet, and how to coordinate that. So for example, we might have 4 children actually come up and put together that rhythm and show a drummer how to do that, rather than the drummer showing the kids how to do that. We try to get everyone's hands on somehow. So no matter what age they are or what instrumental ability, we try to get people standing right next to the guitarist and letting him know, I like this sound you're using, or can you go back to that, stepping on that other effects pedal that I like. Or it's amazing how much of an impact it makes when you have someone standing right next to the bass player and really feeling what that's like to let out some really low, draggy, crawly kind of caveman bass lines, or to have them riding really high up on the neck and getting those those tight little attacks and running a really fast line. When we have a larger group, one of the first things I do is get audience input, because when people are sitting and they're several rows back from the stage, you want to bring them in as quickly as possible. So we're asking them, we can do this or this, which one would you like to hear? We can go in this direction with the style, or this direction, which would you like to hear? Or what can you tell me about the way this guy is interacting with this guy? So we're bringing their focus in, we're bringing their attention in, and ideally that's the way we'd like them to be able to appreciate music. I'd be thrilled if these audience members, these students, would go and study and become professional musicians. But ideally we're just looking to give them an appreciation for what music is, how it works. And so if they can be sitting in a concert hall 3, 5, 10 years down the road and be applying that same attention and be understanding and engaged and really, really focusing in on what the musicians are doing and experiencing, then that to me is just as important. And so we have to get that right from the get-go. We need to make sure that they're drawn in and paying attention to that. We often get to sort of follow up and go back and see the kids in their classrooms and either bring the instruments or answer questions, and that's always fun too, because again it shows, wow, these are real people. They're not just, they don't just disappear after our assembly period's over. So we always try to do that.
It was more like a whole group thing, and it was more like interacting, like not treating us like babies, like we're more of adults. That was good. You teach us a fun way, like you make us like, you make jokes about some of what we do, and you don't, it's not like just, it's not just like lecturing and like, you have to do it this way, and if you get it wrong, you have to go outside of the classroom. You just like explain it nicely, and then if you get it wrong, you go to that individual person and you help them, especially on that. I think music does build confidence for kids because it helps them like learn more like, and it's just like a passion that you have. Some people don't particularly like music that much, but when I sing or when I play an instrument, I feel the beat, and it makes me like forget everything like homework and stuff, and it just makes me think about this one moment, and it's really special and nice.
It's just something that she absolutely adores, is music and everything to do with it. Obviously, you're a wonderful teacher and you've known each other a long time, from being her actual teacher in school to now teaching her here in the home, and you've done so much with her. I mean, she's very confident, but I think the way she expresses herself through music and the guitar, she really does. The way you've taught her and the way you've encouraged her, she actually loves it with such a passion, and she doesn't think before she gets up on that stage. It just comes so natural to her, and I think that's a lot to do with the way you've taught her. I think it's wonderful. You've got a great thing going on, and I'm very proud of her, and I thank you so much.